All right, guys, let's talk about the elements of art. There are some really important ones. The first one is line. Line is made by tools such as your paintbrush or a pencil. It's how you write your name. It's full of lines. You could use a pen or a stick in the mud. It's a moving point. We've talked all about different types of lines last year: diagonal, horizontal, wavy, zigzag, castle. There are so many, and you can even make up your own too. Shape. Shapes are flat, enclosed areas that have two dimensions. They're long and they're also wide. We have geometric shapes, and then we have the crazy looking organic shapes. There's probably a few shapes that you already know. We can't forget about color. Color, baby, color. It is a very important element of art. It is created by light. There are three properties of color: the hue, which is the name, the value, which we'll talk about later, and the intensity, which is the brightness. Light enters our eyes, and then that's how our brain knows what we're looking at. We see color to tell us what we're looking at. Here's a tricky one. It's called value. Value is the light to dark. So notice these pictures have a lot of dark, and then there's also a lot of bright whites. So think shadows, think of highlights. If you were in first grade last year, you did the shadow project. So you should know a little bit about shadow, but it's how we know things are 3D. Like, it makes it so that it looks real. So, form. Think of sculptures. Think of when we do clay. There are objects that we can walk around, you could possibly touch, or like this bean, you could walk under it. Sculpture is 3D. It takes up space and has volume. It can be tall, it can be short, but it's always something that is not flat. Now let's talk about texture. So texture is things that you can feel with your hands. So think of fur, like on a dog or cat, or rough surfaces like this. Think about this surface. How would it feel if you were to run your fingers over it? It's the things that feel, like you can put your hand out and touch them. The quality is of an object, like this bumpy stuff, ouch, or the prickliness of a cactus. And our last one is space. Oh, wouldn't it be relaxing to just drift off into outer space right now? But space could also be outside. Maybe I'm taking a relaxing jog and I'm just jogging for hours. Or maybe I'm lost in the desert and there's just so much space. It could be a small space too. Maybe I fell down into the sewer. That would be a small space. I don't think I'd like that. But then hamsters really like small space. They live in little small houses that you give them, and I'm sure they don't mind. So space can be small or big.